This hit me like a physical blow because apparently I was the sacrifice. When I finally found my voice, it came out as a whisper that quickly turned into a roar. I asked him if he was seriously choosing his boss over our marriage, over our honeymoon, over me, and you know what he said. He said I was being dramatic. Dramatic as if 3 years of putting his career first, of being understanding about every missed dinner and cancelled plan of supporting his every ambition, hadn't earned me the right to expect him to honor our marriage. That's when I slapped him. I'd never hit another human being in my life, but in that moment, my hand moved before my brain could stop it. The sound echoed through our living room, and we both just froze. He looked genuinely shocked, like he couldn't believe his sweet, supportive wife had actually struck him. But I wasn't shocked. I was finally awake. The fight that followed was nuclear. 3 years of suppressed resentment came pouring out of me like a dam had burst. I screamed about how he'd already chosen Cassandra over me months ago, how I'd become invisible in my own marriage, how he treated his boss's opinion like gospel, while dismissing mine like background noise. He screamed back, calling me selfish and unsupported, saying that if I really love him, I'd want him to succeed. Then came the moment that killed whatever was left of my heart. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "You should try to be more like Cassandra. She gets what it takes to win in business. More like Cassandra, the woman who was stealing my husband right in front of my face, and he wanted me to be more like her." That's when I stopped yelling and started planning. After Karen stormed out that night, slamming the door so hard our wedding picture fell off the wall, I sat in the wreckage of our living room and did something I'd never done before. I got curious about the woman who had apparently become more important to my husband than I was. So I opened my laptop and started digging into Cassandra Blackwell's professional history. And what I found made my blood run cold. This wasn't just about career ambition. This woman had a pattern: 3 different companies, 3 different cities, and at each one, there were whispers about her special relationships with promising male employees. Her LinkedIn was a carefully curated gallery of team building retreats that looked less like professional development and more like romantic getaways. There were photos from previous Swiss retreats, intimate group shots around fireplaces, cozy cabin settings, and conspicuously absent wedding rings on the men who attended. The guest list for this particular retreat was only 6 people, 6. And every single one of them was young, attractive, and either single or in relationships that Cassandra apparently didn't respect. My husband, who I'd watched fall under her spell for months, was walking straight into a trap, and he was too blinded by ambition to see it. Or maybe he did see it, and that's what made it even worse. But here's the thing about rock bottom. It gives you a perfect foundation to build something new. While Karen spent the next 2 days acting like I should be grateful, he was even explaining himself to me, I was quietly orchestrating the most beautiful revenge. I called the resort in Bali, explained that there had been a change in circumstances, and converted our couple's reservation to a single occupancy. They were so sympathetic. When I told them about the family emergency, that they upgraded me to the honeymoon suite at no extra charge, I played the part of the defeated wife perfectly. I made his coffee in the morning, packed his suitcase for Switzerland, and even ironed the shirt he planned to wear. To impress Cassandra, he was so relieved that I'd come around to supporting his decision that he started treating me like his personal assistant, asking me to pick up his dry cleaning and make sure his passport was in order. The audacity was breathtaking, but it was also exactly what I needed. The morning he left for the airport, Karen gave me this patronizing kiss on the forehead and promised he'd make our cancelled honeymoon up to me. Maybe somewhere even better than Bali, he said, with that confident smile that used to make me melt. I smiled back and told him I knew he would make it up to me because by then I'd already booked my own car to a different airport. 2 hours after his plane took off for Zurich, I was settling into my first-class seat to Denpasar, raising a glass of champagne to the most expensive lesson in self-respect I'd ever given myself. As the plane lifted off, I felt something I hadn't experienced in months: pure, unadulterated freedom. While my husband was flying toward what he thought would be his big break, I was flying toward mine. Bali was everything I had dreamed it would be, except for one crucial difference. I was discovering it alone, and that made it infinitely more magical.